Fishers. We've got a fair bit of activity around us, but I will remind you, it is holiday time. There's a lot of boat traffic on the water, a lot of fishers fishing different, or everywhere for that matter. So don't be too disappointed if you miss out sometimes during this time of year, because you're probably just fishing a spot that somebody's fished 10 minutes before you. Now, I've emphasised that to a lot of people I've spoken to over the last week or two. We're getting big numbers of fish getting caught and a lot of reports come in, but there is a huge amount of people out there chasing those fish, so that's probably one of the reasons for that. It's probably the time of year that you've got to really think hard about where you fish and how you fish. But to give you a basic rundown on what's happening around the area, talking to Maso down Albury, and he tells me the Hume Weir is still fishing exceptionally well, getting on redfin, that is. Not everyone's catching them though. You can go down there and you might get one, you might get none. But the big trick is learning how to find redfin, learning how to use your sounder. They're not necessarily around the timber down at the Hume Weir at the moment, they're more in open water. But when I say open water, there's little cutaways, drop-offs and stuff like that under the surface in 20-30 feet of water, and that's where they seem to be hanging rather than on the timber. Probably because a lot of boats are hanging around the timber looking for them, they've moved out into deeper water. But when you find them, good numbers of fish, and some reasonable sized ones amongst them, I can assure you. Mulwala hasn't been too bad. We're getting some reasonable reports from there, some quite sizable cod. Surface lure fishing is quite practical down there at the moment, but the hot spot around the place is the Murrumbidgee River. We always say that, but look, it's always good. You get the odd quiet day, but predominantly it is the number one spot in the area. Drifting, casting, bait fishing, doesn't really matter what you do down there, you will get fish. You do need to understand the system that you're using, the techniques that you're using. You need to be up to scratch with that, but my goodness gracious me, there's a lot of cod getting caught and a few yellow belly and a lot of fish over the metre mark this season, so we're really pleased with how things are going. Fishermen are looking after the fishery, so it looks absolutely magic at the moment. Old Man Creek's been a bit hit and miss. Bundagerry Channel's quite good, we're pretty happy with that. Getting some good reports out of Blowering as far as big cod go, but numbers aren't there simply because of the boat traffic. Night time will be the best time to troll, moon or no moon, it doesn't matter at the moment. Just that there's no ski boats on the water, nothing wrong with ski boats, but there's no ski boats on the water during the night, so you can get out there in a little bit of peace and quiet and you might pick up a fish that's cruising. So just cross your fingers and hope you come across one. Big lures, trolling big spinnerbaits, 2.5 ounce spinnerbaits seem to be the go, and also big hard-bodied lures, orgy, plows, anything of that nature, 100 mil or bigger, seems to cover the options pretty well. A lot of the streams are fishing exceptionally well. They're still not too hot up there, they're still fresh and round to go, quite a few trout in them. The top end of the Goober, top end of the Tumut up above Sioux City, getting some out of Yarringa Billy, Yukonbean River, Threadbow River, all those are all fishing well. By the way, the Vic streams are all just as good, if not better. So a lot of activity down there. Fly fishermen should be having a ball. Tantangra's fishing all right. We're pretty happy with it. So as you can see, there's a fair bit of action around us. Wangler, how good do you want it? It is amazing the amount of fish coming out of there, and it's not all up the arms, it's in the main basin, it's everywhere. They're all over the place at Wangler at the moment, so very consistent catches, a lot of big fish, yellow belly and cod, so real pleased with that. Trolling is really worth the effort up there at the moment. Casting, if you're right into casting, you understand where to cast, you'll get some good results. Burrinjuck isn't too bad, the reports aren't as intense coming through from there, but it isn't too bad at all. We've got a lot of activity around us, as you can see. The saltwater scene's pretty good, but we won't go into that. We might do another report on that very soon. So make sure if you're out in the reserves, clean up your mess, take it home, don't leave anything lying there. And this is the Compleat English Fishing Report for this week. We'll catch you next week.